Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Catching Up. I'm your host, Lauren Kalil, and today's episode we have CrossFit Games athlete who completed open workout 22.3 in the rain, Kara Saunders. How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Have you recovered from your little workout in the rain?
Yeah, it actually wasn't too bad a workout. I found that was I had a little bit of a rough start to the open, so I was like starting to feel a bit better by then, and yeah, I surprisingly felt pretty good after. So I carried on. I went and picked up my daughter, and then came back and did some more training. So
Did you continue the training outside in the rain?
yeah, we've got like kind of a half and half situation. So we have like an inside part of our gym, which is like our garage, and I try and do most of the stuff in there if I can. But then we have like the rig that's like temporarily bolted into the front of our house at the moment, and that's just like honestly, that's just what works at the moment because we're in a house that we're renovating and we've got a toddler, so it's easier for me to do a lot of my training at home so that I can still be her mom and I can still like be present with
Mm.
her and take her to her sport and all of the things that she does as a tiny person. So it's like not ideal, but it gets the job done. But we're forever navigating the weather, especially because it's been like one of the most wet seasons here, like in southeast Queensland in a long, long time. Like we had like severe flooding and all kinds of crazy stuff. So literally every day is like, is it going to rain today? Do I need to change my training time? It's like all over the place.
Well, in your video that you posted of you doing 22.3, you started it off with saying, let's just do it. I want to just get it over with at home. I don't want to go to the gym. At any point, were you thinking, okay, maybe we should just go to the gym and I can be more efficient? Or was your mind made up?
Yeah, look, I think there are a couple of things going through my mind at the time. Like one of them was so, like I said, I had a rough start to the open anyway. I was like randomly a bit sick with I don't even know what, and so I had like the worst, I guess, open in my entire career anyway. And I was like just reminding myself that at this stage in competition, it doesn't really matter, and I just need to get it done and trust in my, 10 years worth of fitness at the top of the sport, and that it would like get me through to the next stage, and I try and do that like unscathed. And so that was like my main sort of like way of thinking. But I was actually going to do it in the morning, and it wasn't raining. And then my husband's a firefighter about what should be like just over an hour drive away, and then traffic. And there was an accident on the highway, and he took over 3 hours to get home. So our
Oh,
whole morning changed on how we were navigating my daughter, and it just kind of blew out further and further. And so then we were left with this space in the afternoon, and then we needed to go and pick her up again. So I was kind of running out of time anyway. So I was like, look, I don't really want this to carry on to Saturday or Sunday or Monday because it's just going to take away from the rest of my training. So the best thing that I can do is just get it done now as best I can and just like let the open be what it is and then just move on to the next stage and hope that it's a little bit smoother.
and if people haven't seen the video yet, I want to pull it up right now because it truly is unbelievable what you did here. But I am nowhere near a games athlete, but people could still call me the chalk monster. And even with this workout, there was a specific bar that I knew I had to be on because it was the most grippy. But then when I watch you do this, it's incredible, and it really talks to the level of fitness you have, being able to do this with, the bar, like, being wet, your barbell being wet. At any point, did you feel like you might slip off?
No, like I think if it was going to be a safety issue, like the rain had settled enough that it was sort of just like a little mist, like it was kind of dewy. And I was like, look, I've got a towel there to wipe it down. We had like, my husband was judging me, and then we had one of my colleagues at Active who was there, like helping with the camera. And she's like, look, she can always walk over and wipe the bar if I need. But yeah, I think if it was like unsafe and I thought I was going to
Hmm,
come off, then I wouldn't have done it because obviously, like, I don't want to hurt myself and do something stupid. But
sure.
I think it was just like it was a little bit uncomfortable and less than ideal. But yeah, it just needed to be done. It just needed to be done. And yeah, I was like, look, I'm not out to like win the open or anything now. So I just need to like put in a good effort, like as best I can and move on. But yeah, I wasn't too worried about that. Honestly, the worst part was that was all warmed up, and I was kind of like waiting a while for the rain to settle, and it just like wasn't settling. So I started to cool down, and then, you know, like you've warmed up for this high intensity workout, and then, you know, you really kind of need to be sort of like primed at a certain point. Otherwise you start the workout and you get that lactic acid and like just that burn all over again. So that was probably like the worst part of it. But luckily, you know, I could fall back on the training that I've done, and I didn't blow up too much. So that was good.
You say you might have had a slow start to the Open, but it doesn't really matter because you finished so strong, 4 minutes and 23 seconds, a third place finish, your best overall. If this wasn't in the rain, do you think that you could have done it faster?
No, yeah, I don't think the rain necessarily itself made me slower. I think I definitely think I could do the workout faster. Like, I chose to not do any of the workouts a second time, even though I know I could definitely do them faster.
Yeah.
And you always do. Everyone's always proven that, you know, you can do the workouts a second time and be a lot faster because you just learn so much the first time through. I think it was more so like the headspace of just trying to like get it done, and, you know, like I said, not having the best warm up, and then kind of like just going into it. I wasn't as like, I guess, as clear focused as I'd normally be, and I would potentially like have things planned out, move a little faster and things like that if the conditions were a little bit better. But I don't think I necessarily would have been too much. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Who cares? You got a third place overall in this workout. Incredible finish there. What were you feeling as soon as you got done?
Oh, it was such a good feeling, like um just to have the Open, like have that part like just ticked off and to be able to move on. And I was actually just really, really happy too, because the 2 weeks previous, especially the second workout with the deadlifts, like the first week I did the Open, I felt sick. And then the second week, I was like, I think I'm starting to feel better. And then I kind of got halfway through the workout and I realized I wasn't better. And I like really, it really hit me. It like caught me off guard. And then I was sick all night. And so I was still a little bit cautious, and I was like, I expected the workout to just like all of a sudden hit me and for me to drop. So I was like waiting for that to happen. And luckily that didn't happen. So that was good. So I was like super relieved at the end that I just didn't have that moment where all of a sudden the workout, like, I just started to feel really, really sick. So, yeah. And then it was just a relief, like tick that one off, move on to the next one, and just get one step closer to the games.
Obviously, the format has changed. This is the second year that we have this consistent Open quarterfinals, semis, and games. Is it hard to change your mindset to know like those two workouts don't really matter? It's enough to get through to quarterfinals and just one and done and move on?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, like we all know, and every athlete will say it, like it doesn't matter, it's just the Open, but then no one treats it like that, right? Like if they did, then people would be cruising a lot more, like just chilling. So like everyone still cares. And there's still like that element of our ego, right? Which is like
Mm,
a totally natural part of any person, and especially an athlete, where you want to do well, like you still want to do well, you don't want to like underperform. So it's hard, like especially in this scenario, and I mean I've had it a million times before in competition where you just can't show up with your best, like it just, that's just sport. But yeah, like deep down I do know it doesn't matter. It's still hard to deal with sometimes when you're not able to put your best forward because you still want to. But I think it's good because it's kind of like left something for me in the tank to kind of show later anyway. And I do know, like from past experience too, is the best I've ever done at the games was the worst I did in the Open. So if I've been sort of
oh,
too focused, like if you're even too mentally invested in the Open, I think it's a very, very long season. There's a lot of
sure.
stages, right? And it's a long time to mentally be invested in something. And I think for me personally, like some people might have a better mental stamina than I do, but for me, if I'm on too early, I can fizzle out, like I can burn out a little bit later. So I've tried to just preserve that to a degree and try and like just be really chill, going about my life. We're doing so much normal life outside of the game stuff right now, like with our home and just everything. So and our business. So we're just like, it's kind of a good distraction for me, and go like I can't be all in on this yet, because I need to be all in later, and I need to save a little bit of that.
What about quarterfinals this coming weekend? Where's the mindset and like how are you preparing for that? Or is that just normal training straight through?
No, like I think quarterfinals is a little bit different because obviously it's like multiple workouts back to back. So, you're not going to do your normal training like around that. I think it's a really good opportunity for me, especially as somebody who trains at home by myself a lot, to get a little bit of a comp simulation and to like have to practice my like fueling and my rest and
Mhm.
everything like that in the day around multiple workouts at a higher intensity, with a little bit of stress behind them. So it's really good for me to kind of like dust the cobwebs off for that, because like, I didn't even get to compete at the games last year really. So I didn't, and even the little bit that I did, I was like so out of it because I was so unwell. So I yeah, I need to kind of dust it off and do all that. I don't love the at home format. Like, it's not my favorite part of the competition. I love to step onto a competition floor. The at home format just adds, it's accessible, which is great, but it adds a lot of stress because you just need so many of your people and stuff, like just trying to sort out like the judging and the all the standards and to keep your space right, and there's all this extra work before the workouts rather than just kind of going in and doing the workouts. So each stage, yeah, each stage offers something different, but I'm definitely looking forward to like semi-finals where you just get to kind of walk out and do your thing. But quarters is a perfect opportunity for me to like make some mistakes, and just test out that like nervousness of a competition and how and all of those things that you need to practice before you get to the one that really matters, and trying to qualify.
Have you looked at the forecast for this weekend yet to see if you'll be able to do all the workouts outside?
Oh my gosh, no, I'm going to go to the gym for this one. I'm like,
Okay.
unless there's, the only way I won't, I think, is like, if there's like a lift or something. I don't know. Look, we're going to take it as it comes because we've got to navigate. My husband's on shift work and we've got my daughter. So there's a lot of things that we have to navigate. And we rely on like friends around us because we don't have any family around us at home. So we're just going to kind of do the best we can to navigate and make it all work in. But I know my hubby's going to be on night shift, so I have a shorter day to get the workouts done. But we will go to Zeke Grove's gym, Carve, which is like a 10-minute drive from home. So him and I will most likely try and do them together, but he's also navigating his two small children. So it's like a full family affair that we have to work around just to get this competition done.
Yeah, a lot of pieces that play a part in it, and with, like, the at home, how, you do still have your life, you have your kids and all of these other, like, pieces that clearly play a part in when you can get the workout done. For quarterfinals, do you plan on repeating any of them? Is it kind of the same mindset as the open?
Yeah, look, I think I wouldn't repeat any of them. I don't think we'll really have the opportunity. So unless I really make a mistake, but again, I only need to be in that top percentage, like that top group, which touch wood, I don't normally have trouble with to get to my semi-final in particular. So yeah, I would like to not repeat any of them unless I didn't last year. So unless I something really wild happened, like, but I would hope maybe if something bad were to happen, I would pull the pin in the middle of the workout. Like if something wasn't right, and I would try and redo it. But I mean, the way they structured it last time anyway, you had like a small window to do like two workouts before you kind of move on to doing the other ones anyway. So I don't think there's much of an opportunity to redo it without, potentially affecting the other ones. So I think it'll be just one and done all the way through.
Sure. And then even looking ahead to the CrossFit Games, as you mentioned, obviously last year it didn't go the way that you wanted. It didn't end the way you wanted with pulling out early. The world was still very different than with the pandemic. Looking at how you had to quarantine on your way to the US and then getting back home. I mean, I think it was like 5 weeks that you were away from your family. Looking ahead to this year where the world's at least now is a little bit more opened up, do you plan to have your family travel with you to the games to be your in-person support system?
Yeah, 100%. We definitely like realized and made the decision. Like I definitely made the right decision last year. It was a hard decision, but the way that the world was, it wasn't fair to drag my daughter through that. it was much better to, and like obviously my husband has to work, and so there's like a few things that we have to navigate there. So we did the best we could with what we had. This year my hubby's going to take some time off work, and we're going to just like make a thing of it, come over a little bit earlier so that we can really set ourselves up, and do whatever needs to be done, and just make it like a real experience for all of us. And I think like looking back, I think even it's hard to say because I was sick, but like it was really, really hard. I went through so much to leave last year. Like I was breastfeeding my until when I left, and I had to wean her quite quickly. And I think body was going through the emotions and the stress of that, on top of then getting COVID and traveling through that mess and everything. So I don't even know how I performed, to be honest. Like I think I was such a mess. But so I think you need your people, like you need someone. And at the time, my coach then, when I got there, he had some family stuff and he wasn't able to make it either. So I literally just kind of almost had no one. I had some people that jumped in to help me out, which was amazing. But you just need your crew. And I really want Scotty to be there and to kind of see what we do and everything. So yeah, we're all going to come together and yeah, make the most of it. Try and make it like just a really fun trip. And this year's definitely been more of a focus around like in the journey rather than the destination. Like I'm more focused on having a really great year and sharing it with people around me rather than like just focusing on like the games, you know, win the games or whatever. So like what's important to me is just a little bit different, and I don't want to do it without them.
No, and Scotty is already there seeing all of your workouts. She gets involved in some of them that now she needs to see her mom on the big stage.
Yeah, I don't think she'd even let me leave her behind. She would be like, she barely lets me go anywhere without her. So she's like, I want to come. So I think
Oh,
yeah, we'll brave a flight, but do it together. And yeah, I think she'll absolutely love it. Plus, we've got so many friends over in the US that, you know, that haven't even had the chance to like meet her and see her. And, you know, our friends over there that have had kids now and they can play together. So, yeah, I think, and I haven't had that opportunity to even spend time with people that I love over there in a while. So I think it'll be really together.
awesome. With Kara Saunders, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. You crushed 22.3. I think that I could take some pointers to not be so picky about the bar that I use these days.